Welcome to Laugh Now, Cry Later. I'm Emissary Jay and I'm here with
Sister Shannon.
And thank you for joining us. We're going to be having a testimony from Sister Shannon, just to show kind of her journey and praying that this will touch people's hearts and kind of understand the wonderful things that Yahushua is doing and he's calling his children at this moment in time. Yada Yahuwah. So yes, Shannon, it's nice for you to be here. Thank you for coming to the podcast. Really appreciate it. Just a couple of questions, I suppose. Firstly, you being in Yahushua, how did that happen for you?
Oh, it took a very long time, really. It was about 2 and a bit years for me to fully believe. And it started off with my brother, and he had told my mum the name, but he also told me at the same time. And at the time, I was just like, no.
Was it a long time ago, or?
Yeah, it's about 4 years ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think, about 4 years ago.
Okay.
I think, roughly about that time. And completely no, didn't want to hear it. And then when first it was my brother, and then he had told my mum the name because my mum was more open to knowing the name.
Yeah.
And then they were both talking to me about, the name and the truth, and I just didn't want to believe it at the time. I was very stuck in the world and what I was doing, and everything was how it was at the time. I thought was perfect, so I didn't want to change that because I liked it.
I had the same thing.
Similar
thing.
Just really liked how my life was before, so I didn't want to change. And when my mum had come into the truth, I thought my life, that was it. I'm trapped now. I won't be able to get out of it now.
Yeah.
But I would just continue to do what I was doing, which was just, again, being in the world and just doing what I wanted to do. And obviously, every now and then, my mum would come to me and tell me certain scriptures or what she's been reading or what she's been learning and all that stuff, And I wasn't ignoring her and I wasn't not listening to her. I was listening to her, but I was still a bit I'm not sure, I just didn't believe at the time. And it was very up and down. And my mum was constantly telling me, I'm praying for you. And I was thinking, all right.
Yeah.
Slow down. And then I went through just a really, really, rough patch in my life where everything was just not right. And I'd messaged my mum, and my mum had come upstairs, and she was like, what's wrong? She wanted to know because she didn't know before. She wasn't aware of what was going on in my mind. And it wasn't that I didn't want to hear her. It just felt at the time that I needed to hear my brother. So he had come upstairs and he had sat down, and he was confused. And he spoke to me. And even though I had somewhere to be the next day, and like I said, everything was planned out in my life, what I wanted to do and how I wanted to live, I was thinking, I got to go out with my friends tomorrow, and I had to be in bed at a certain time. But he sat there and he was just talking to me, and he was reading me scriptures and, showing me the truth, and I was listening to him. And I didn't deny it, but I would just, again, I was so stuck with what I was doing. I just didn't want to believe exactly what he was saying to me. So then, and then that night was done. But after he had spoken to me, I felt different. I didn't know why or how, but I felt happier, and I felt like I was almost going up. It wasn't. But I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And then I had a dream, and it was a very long dream, and in the dream, I was holding something that I thought was good and brought me safety, and it was great in my life, and I needed this thing to live. But I had a man in the dream that was telling me it's not, and you need to pick a path, which one you're going to go down, and you've got to leave it there. You can't take it with you. You can't keep going on with it anymore.
Well, that's powerful.
And they said, what? And I said, sorry, he asked me in the dream, what path do you want to go down? And I said, well, I'm not going to go down that one because I can't see nothing in it. It was pitch black, I couldn't see nothing. And I looked at the next one to it, and it was light, and there was a man standing under a light. I didn't see him, and obviously at the time I didn't know who he was. And the man in the dream said to me, go then. So I walked with this thing, and I walked to this man, and the closer I got, the light turned off, but I didn't walk away with this thing. I put it back down. I put it where he was, and then I walked away. And as I walked away and I went back to the same spot that I was at last time, I looked towards this man. The light was back on. He was standing under the light, and he was holding what I had placed down. And I looked again, and it was gone. But he was still holding, like, almost like as if he was still holding the thing. And I'd woken up, and instantly I thought, I need to tell my mum this dream. I need to tell my brother this dream. So I did. And my brother wasn't at home at the time. He was away. But I still told him the dream. I think my mum told him through text, or I told him through a call. I can't really exactly remember. But I told him, and instantly I think he went to you or MSO Martin.
I remember that dream.
Told you the dream, and he came back to me that evening, and he was so happy, and I just remember him like so excited, and he was reading me scriptures, explaining to me about, you know, the paths that we need to go on, and all this stuff. Anyway, and I thought, okay, and I felt happy because I thought, oh, that was a good dream. But at the same time I was like, but what now? What do I do now? Where do I go now?
Yeah, of course.
So then after like a week of feeling really good about this dream, I went back to how I was before because I just, I didn't really understand. And after that dream, my mum had gotten more like, come on, Shannon, like, don't you see? Like, are you not seeing it? And at the time, I know now that she means it all good. Yeah. But at the time, it was like, stop pressuring me. Like, I don't, like, and I knew that she meant it all for good. But at the time, it didn't seem like that. And then she stopped, and it felt alright. And then I had met more and more brethren. I had met you, I met Brother Levi, I met MSO Martin, Sister Cynthia, and the more brethren I met, I kept thinking, they seem too loving, they seem too nice.
It's true, by the way.
And it was nice to see them, and being around them felt good, but at the same time I was a bit like, I remember Sister Sib said to me, you wasn't shy, you was just reserved. You was looking, you was observing to see how we all was. And I was like, right, okay. But I wasn't too sure. And then my mum had come to me one day, and she said to me, we need to move to Chesterfield, because you always told me and a few of brethren that it's a place of safety and we need to go there. And instantly I was like, no, like, not no as in I didn't want to, no as in I'm happy. What do you mean we got to move now, you know? And like I had the job that I wanted, the friends, the college, everything was really good. But she had said we have to, so I thought, okay. So we obviously the process happened. We moved up to Chesterfield, and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do here? Like, do I go to college? Do I do this? I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And then more and more, obviously, the more brethren I saw, the more brethren I was around, and, stuck around, went out for meals, grew a massive bond with Sister Cynthia, and it felt good. And then 1 week actually before my 18th birthday, I was supposed to go back down to London to be with friends, and and my mum was talking to me again about Yahusha, about scripture, and I felt something in my heart, and it just felt like, oh, okay. And I remember just not saying it at the time because I was a bit, I didn't want to just say it. I wanted to say it, and I mean it, Of
course, no, I understand what you mean.
And I remember one evening I was getting packed up, ready to go to London, and I said to my mum, it's not too late for me to be immersed though if I wanted to now. And she said, no, not at all. Like, if you wanted to tomorrow, it's fine. And I said, all right then. And I believe she actually reached out to you or MSO Martin, about it. I'm not too sure. And anyway, we went down to London, and I actually forgot everything about me asking or anything like that. I'd forgotten about it because I was enjoying my time down in London. Came back up here, I think after like a month or so, you and MSO Martin came around to talk to me about immersion.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to my mum about immersion, so she had invited you both around. And during that whole time of me coming back from London and the time you both came around, I was thinking about Yahushua more and more. And the whole time, like from 2 years ago to now, it's not that I didn't believe, or I did believe that there was something there, and I did believe that there was a heaven and a hell. I believed in all that, but I just didn't know the name. Yeah. And yeah, so you both had come around, and you both had spoken to me about immersion and things like that, and I was just all over the place because at the time you was both talking to me about immersion, and I was all over the place. I understood it, but I didn't believe that I was chosen.
But you are. You didn't believe it, but you are. Yeah, you are.
Just because. You can leave this part in. Yeah, yeah, I didn't believe that I was chosen just because of the way that I was living. And because I believed, but I didn't. I believed, but I didn't understand like what I had to do. I believed in Yahushua, but I just didn't quite know what was next. But then you both spoke to me about immersion, and when you had left, I spoke to Mum more and more and more about immersion, and I asked her how she did it and how did she feel after, and yeah, and then the date was agreed that August the 4th I was going to be immersed, and I thought, okay, like I'm ready for it, like it felt good. And then yeah, I was immersed on August the 4th. Yeah. Oh, and then after but because I was so shy, I still am.
Really? Yeah, really? I don't know about that now.
I was ready to be immersed, and but I was so shy, and I said to Mum, because I saw how she did it, and I saw a few other videos of other brothers and sisters getting immersed, and I saw massive crowds, and I thought, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't be immersed with all.
Can look quite daunting. Yeah, I understand that.
And I remember kept saying to Mum, like, I didn't want people to not be there, but at the same time, I just wanted it to be like such a small amount of people because of how shy I was. And I didn't actually realise at the time, but my mum had actually asked you if that was possible, that we could just do it with a small amount of people. And Mum had told me, oh yeah, like, they said of course. And I thought, really? Because I thought that's how it had to be, like everyone had to be there to witness it. But because it was so like, yeah, of course, I thought, wow. And then, like I said, I got immersed August the 4th, and just everything changed. Everything changed. Yeah. Obviously, like I said before, when we moved up here, I had to let go of a lot of stuff. Yeah, I had to let go of a lot of stuff. But then when I'd come into this walk, I didn't realise there was so much more that you had to let go. But not in a bad way. It was good. Yeah, it was good. And I wouldn't change it for the world now.
Just saying that you said, if you don't mind, just I think so many people, when they come into Yahushua, they see it so daunting. They don't know like what the next steps are. And again, it's you said that you didn't feel worthy, and I felt like that. We all felt like that.
Yeah.
It's not something just you felt by yourself. And the scripture says, that Yahushua came for the sick, for the sinners. He didn't come to call the righteous to repentance, the sinners. So just to kind of resonate, and reflect even on what you've said in relation to not feeling worthy, in my beginning stages, is exactly how I felt. I just felt like it can't be me. My life, I'm not good enough to do this. And when I hear you say it, and I know other people on their journeys have experienced the same thing, we all go through the exact same process of just not feeling worthy. But Yahushua reminds us, and I think you said also about being chosen. This is why it's such a gift, and why you've got to treat it, it's so special, and it's a wonderful thing, as you said. Yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Definitely. Just everything changed completely. We moved down all together, and we was in one house. Like I said, I got immersed, went back home that day. I still was like, I've done it, but what now? Like, what more do I do now? But I remember my mum just said, just take it easy, just go with the flow. So that's exactly what I did. Day by day, me and mum would read scriptures every now and then, and I would join on to studies, and I would listen to other people talk, and it just grew more and more.
And now you are like one of the people that other people look to. And I think that's a very a strong testimony that you have, and that in the assembly now so many people look to you, for encouragement, just what's going on, and nobody would come and see you and think, Shannon doesn't know what you do this, you do this, you do, and I think even watching that process myself, it's been an amazing thing to see Yahushua working all our lives, and where he's brought us to, and I mean for yourself now, obviously being in Yahushua, what would you say to somebody that's searching for Yahushua, or looking into things, pertaining to their salvation? What kind of words of encouragement would you give them from your own experience?
I would say do it for yourself, because I had people come to me and they thought that I was being forced into it.
Okay.
Because like I said before, I thought I was trapped. So when I said that, they took that, but they didn't take everything else. Like what I was saying to them about, like, people come to me, oh, what is it then? Like, your mum and your brother in it, you should know, like, what is it? And I didn't know, but it wasn't that it was awful. I just didn't know. So when I was in it, they thought, oh no, she's being forced. And,
of course. Makes sense.
But it's, and I would say just do it for yourself and take time. And
take time is an important thing. Definitely do it for yourself. Take your time. Totally.
Because it took me 2 years to come into Yahushua, and like I said, it was very up and down. Like 1 week I'd be like, yeah, and then the next it'd be no, go back to what I was doing. So definitely take time, because Yahuwah's time is always right. So it's not like, you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not that it won't happen, but it needs to be for the right time for you, and Yahuwah knows that. So like I said before, just go with the flow. And just do it for you.
And I think for myself also, one of the, what you said, doing it for yourself, and Yahuwah's timing is perfect. Yahuwah's not going to reach out to you at the wrong time.
No.
He's not going to call you at the wrong time. It may be the wrong time for you, in the sense of where you believe you are in your life. But for him, it's the right time for him to draw you near unto him. And as you grow, you realise that, that's Yahuwah's timing is always perfect.
Yeah.
And just one of the last things for me to kind of touch on in relation to your testimony is that obviously we have younger children in the assembly.
Yeah.
And I know you've been led into that. Do you want to talk about kind of how that's happened for you and how you found that?
I love it. I really do love it. When I found out that, I was asked to do it, I was a bit like, what do I do though? Like, how do I do it? What do I say? Because at the time I wasn't looking at the children. I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, like how are they growing? It was just thinking like, oh, we're on the same kind of thing, on the same page.
Yeah.
So when I was actually asked, I was a bit blown away, and I had an answer to say, but I didn't know exactly like, oh, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And there was a few things that I was just a bit unsure about, but then now I've done it, I think for a couple of months now, haven't I?
Yeah.
For a while now.
For a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
In the hall, and I love it, and just seeing every time they come in and they say something new, it's like, I just love it because you just know that, that they're growing.
They've grown amazingly. There's been the children, you have to see it to believe it, because otherwise people will just think that we're just, saying things, but
Exactly.
the children, no, sorry, I was going to say the children have grown astronomically, and obviously the foundation is Yahusha, but yourself, Sister Cynthia as well.
Yes.
You have just absolutely took it and ran, and it's amazing to see.
Definitely. No, definitely. And you say, Sister Cynthia, we both work very well together. We both know, we come together like 2 weeks before in the hall, we talk about it, what we're going to do. And it's always, let's not put a plan in. Let's let the children decide, and we go with it as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by whenever they come in and they say something new, we're blown away every time, because it's like you said, their growth, and when they come in and they talk to us and we present it to the assembly, it's like half the time it's them.
Yeah.
Me and Cynthia are just adding in those little bits. And that's just all them, and I just give you all the thanks that he chose me to do that, because like I said, I do love it. And until he says otherwise, I'm staying there. So please don't take me anywhere else.
and we don't decide where people go.
No.
It's not us. We're led, and everybody is placed where they're supposed to be by the Ruach.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know you know that now.
Of course.
And one of the things you said, even with the children, you're saying you let the children decide.
Yeah.
The assembly is everybody has a voice. Everybody is able to give input. And we are a family. It's not a family where people kind of just say, oh, we're a family, but it's not.
No, it's not.
And we all desire the best one for the other.
Yeah.
And I think that from the ground up, so the children, you can see that in them, where they have that same love, desire for others to do better.
Definitely.
And we reflect that, which is so important. And I just think, listen, I don't think Yahuwah's going to move you from that. I think you're going to be doing much more things, as we've spoken about. Praise be to Yahuwah. But I just think it's an amazing journey. And for anyone who comes into Yahusha, like you said, you've just got to trust that it's the perfect time.
Exactly.
Yahuwah's perfect time, and He'll never leave you nor forsake you. Yadi Yahuwah. I don't know if there's anything lastly you want to touch on, or.
No, but I was actually going to say, while I was a bit of a hot mess earlier within my little testimony, and saying like, seeing when I came up to Chesterfield with my family, and seeing the brethren, I was a bit reserved because I thought, oh no, I'm not too sure. But then I realised that, like you said, we are quite literally a family. And I was actually saying to my mum the other day that one time we was all just strangers, and now we're all here together.
Praise be to you.
Yahuwah.
Without him, it couldn't be possible. No. Well, let me thank you for being here. Such an emotional testimony, which is, let me say, amazing. And I'm just grateful that you were able to be here today. Shannon, thank you so much for that. Giving all esteem be to Abba Yahuwah.
Thank you
and
for
hopefully
having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'm sure you'll be back again. I'm sure, yeah. So, giving thanks to Yahuwah, praying that Shannon's testimony has moved many people out there. It's definitely moved myself. Some bits of it I didn't know. Look at that, So you're always learning things. Just giving thanks to Yahuwah, and we'll see you again.